if I'm a tenant, should I be paying my rent? Do I get rent free? If I'm a landlord, should I collect rent? No? Hi there, this is Carl D from Spectrum Investments, and I just want to share some ideas on how to manage your rental during this period of lockdown. So there are two types of questions coming out right now is, if I'm a tenant, should I be paying my rent? Do I get rent free? And on the other side naman, there's the landlord question. If I'm a landlord, should I collect rent? So I just want to share with you, I've summarized it into three major steps. No? Number one is, I'm going to speak to both the tenant and the landlord. So I just want to put things into place that it's really challenging times right now. Challenging meaning it's hard for us, it's a struggle, we don't know what to do, we're financially burdened. It's a challenge from God. What does God want us to do during this time? What is God testing us for? So number one, I want to clarify that there are three types of tenants. The first tenant is you are financially affected. You lost your job, you have no income, you are now in a very anxious place. Number two, you are financially okay, you still get your salary, you get to work from home, you are just worried. And number three, your industry is thriving, you're a tenant wherein your business is thriving during this time and it's no worry for you. From a landlord side naman, there are three types of landlord. Number one, the landlord that is really relying on your rental income to sustain his daily needs. Ito yung kailangan talaga niya, he lives on the rental income. Second type of landlord is a landlord that has mortgage payments. The landlord uses this income to pay for his mortgage. So he's also at a challenging, anxious time right now. Third type of landlord, a landlord that is financially okay, rental is just a bonus. So there are three types of tenant and three types of landlord. To help you manage this situation, I want to bring up one major advice, which is how to approach this. We should approach this with a certain type of mentality, which is the grateful mindset. I want to encourage everybody not to look at this from a entitled mindset. No? From a tenant point of view, an entitled mindset would go like, you know, I'm struggling, I deserve rent free. That's an entitled mindset. Well, when we shift it to a grateful mindset, it will be like, wow, I'm so grateful that during this time of hardship, I still am surviving, I still have my family together, I still have enough funds, I'm just tight right now and I'm worried. So that's coming from a grateful gratitude angle. For landlords naman, we should move from the entitled mindset of a landlord wherein I'm the landlord, I own the property, I deserve to be paid. I've been serving you, I've been giving you housing, I deserve to get paid. Shift to a gratitude mindset wherein, wow, I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful that I'm the one being able to be a giver right now. I'm the one who is in a financially better position to be able to give people a house over their head, a roof over their family so they feel more secure and safe. So number one to repeat is to have a gratitude mindset. That will help you go to step two. Step two is we ask ourselves, what does God want us to do at this point? If God is watching you, how would you respond? How can you be like Jesus Christ? How can you be like Christ during this challenging time? So I'm sure the tenants, you are worried about a lot of things. Your family, it's a chain reaction. You're worried about your income, you're worried about your family, your kids, your livelihood. A lot of things are worrying you right now as a tenant. For the landlord naman, they have their own set of worries then. So siguro I'm gonna speak also to the tenants right now na also try to understand that we are also grateful for our landlords for providing us our shelter. No? And they also have their challenges. They have their expenses, they have their salaries, they have their maintenance costs, and some will have big payments to the bank that they need to pay. And they're counting on the rental. So we are all in this together. We are all in this challenging period. Challenging again meaning, what is God want us to do? God is looking at us. This is a God's challenge. How do you want to respond? Diba? Knowing that God is watching. Landlords right now are also worried. They're worried about, landlord as they're coming to me and say, I can absorb 1 month, but maybe 2 months, 3 months is gonna be a difficult, especially for those with large number of rental properties. They're now worried about their bank payments. They're also struggling right now. If they don't get rent, they're unable to pay also their mortgage, their obligation, their salaries. Of course, landlord, I think they're also worried na parang, I want to be kind. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I want to be kind. I want to extend my hands, but I don't want them to pull my whole arms. So yan yung iniisip ng mga landlord right now. So number one is to have a gratitude mindset, not entitled. Number two is to ask yourself, what does God want you to do at this point? How can you be Christ-like. And number 3, I want to mention this beautiful verse that I came across through my friend, brother Glenn Yu of Sea Oil. So Glenn Yu told me about this verse, Galatians 6 verse 2, wherein it says, carry each other's burden, and in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. It's a wonderful verse that paints a picture of what's happening right now. Right now, we are all carrying a certain burden. What do you do with this burden? Do you want to all pass it on? Or do you want to help each other carry the burden? So that's a very good analogy from Galatians 6 verse 2, wherein we look at this as a burden, and instead of passing on the burden, blaming other people, finger pointing, how can we all help each other carry the burden so we can all hurdle this together in how God wants us to hurdle this? So my advice to the tenants is, I have 4 advice. Number 1, communicate with your landlord. Send him a message and tell him what you're going through. Tell him about your worries and see how we can all carry the burden together. Then number 2, give your landlord an assurance. If you're struggling right now, you tell him that, you know what, landlord, I assure you that when things are better, I'm very appreciative. That's what landlord wants to hear, yung appreciation that even if you're not able to pay rent, that you are being given a place to stay. So have that kind of communication, not threatening, not an entitled. An entitled communication will be, wala ba diyang libreng rent? Ano ba, crisis na ngayon? Dapat meron akong ganyan. That's an entitled message. But a message of gratitude will be, hi landlord, sir, I really appreciate everything that you have given to us. We've been staying in your unit for quite some time, and my family enjoy this unit. Sir, I'm just in a challenging position right now financially. Is there any concession that you can give to me? So for those unable to contribute financially, you can also volunteer services and efforts. You can say na, Mr. Landlord, I'm tight right now. Can I help clean your property? Can I do something for you? Can I help out? Can I do social media marketing for you? Can I eventually repay you back with services? Diba? Maganda yung ganon eh. It doesn't sound like an entitled, I deserve this mindset. For those who are really unable to pay, you're really financially affected, I think it's a good win-win situation also to kind of consider your plan B na by telling your landlord na, I'm financially challenged right now, can I stay a few more weeks? But when the lockdown ends, I promise I'm gonna move back to my parents. Things like that makes that landlord more at peace, diba? And it gives you that kind of sharing your burden relationship. And then next, so the landlord naman, this is for you mga friends. I'm also a landlord, I'm also a tenant, so I know the struggle that both sides are going through at this point, no? So for the landlord, here are your 3 options. Number 1, you can follow the Bayanihan Act and you can give a 30-day grace period. 30-day grace period means no interest, no penalty. You just pay me after 30 days. That's a good way to lessen the burden of your tenant. A second one is you can give a discount. Here's what you can do. You can tell your tenants, okay, I give you 2 options. Option 1, you pay it after 30 days, but if you pay today, I give you a discount. Maybe, just to make it simple, 50% discount, diba? Para hating kapatid, share the burden. Diba? So option 1, grace period, you still pay the whole amount without penalties, or you pay now with a 50% discount. So it makes it exciting. And number 3 advice to my landlord friends, if you have a tenant na really burdened, nagsarado yung business sila, tinamaan sila, they had to go to the province, and you can financially carry this burden, this will be a good time to show compassion. This will be a good time to show love, to show God's love, kindness, and just telling your tenant who was financially burdened na, you know what, don't worry about this period, I got your back. So the tenant naman, I want to let you know na it's not easy for landlord to shoulder, especially when they have a vast amount of rooms that they need to collect to. No? So mahirap yan. So just case to case. If you get grace period, be grateful, be thankful. If you get a 50% discount, be grateful, be thankful. If your landlord gives you free rent, be grateful and try to make the best you can to recover, to repay back. Diba? As simple as sending over food, sending over some nice little card made by your kids will really create that relationship and really that gratitude mentality between you and your landlord. And I guess to my landlord friends, if you have a tenant that is a frontliner, people who are out there, everybody who's out there right now, risking their life and their health just to make our society move. Now would be a nice time to kind of give them a little bit of kindness and extension. I'm sure God will see what you are doing, and God will definitely be pleased with what you are doing right now as a landlord and both as a tenant. So yep, to summarize, I just wanna send to you the message that if you are challenged right now, if you're struggling, now would be a good time to kneel down and just really lift yourself up to God and say, Lord, what do you want me to do at this point? And on that note, this is Carl D from Spectrum Investments. I hope I'm able to share how you can manage through these challenging times with your rental, both from a tenant point of view and a landlord point of view. Thank you very much.